I am so excited to be here with the congressman from my hometown district in East Texas, Congressman Louie Gohmert. Hello.
Hello, Ann-Marie. Always good to be with you.
I know. The last time I saw you, we were getting rained on in Washington, D.C.
In court, between the Supreme Court and the Capitol.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm not real crazy about politicians these days.
Me either.
Good. A lot of us on our side are really upset with people that aren't speaking out, but you are not one of those. It seems like a large group of the general population does not see Islam as a threat. They think it's a right-wing conspiracy theory. Is Islam a threat in America? I know that in Missouri, CARE is trying right now to pass a law that if someone insults Islam on the internet, that they can use Sharia law. Is this a threat, or is this a right-wing conspiracy?
Islam is not a threat to our country for those who want to live and let live, who do not want to impose their brand of Sharia law that requires that you avoid saying anything insulting about Sharia law. But, the goals of the Muslim Brotherhood that were found several years ago, I believe in 2005, pointed out that part of their 10-year goal, one of the boxes they want to check, is to subjugate our Constitution to Sharia law. So as soon as they get the American people to accept that you cannot say anything insulting about Islam, then they get to check the box, because you can insult Christianity, you can put a cross in a beaker of urine, you can use Jesus' name in all kinds of horrible ways, you can burn a Bible, you can burn a United States flag, and those are all acceptable under the Constitution. So the moment burning a Quran is illegal in America, or saying that anything that insults Mohammed or Islamists, that's when they check the box. You've just subjugated the Constitution to Sharia law. So I think from that aspect, it is dangerous. Once the Constitution is placed under Sharia law, we're done. And I don't encourage anyone to burn a Quran. I don't think anybody should. I have a hard time, as someone who has jokes made about me, and some of them funny, I have a hard time saying you can't make a joke about someone's religion. I think you shouldn't if it's insulting. But when you look around the world at the radical Islamist jihadists who think it's perfectly fine to put a bomb on your person and go in and blow up innocent people in the name of your religion, and you don't want to insult those people. So to put
and they get a free pass.
Yeah, well, that cartoon that put a bomb in a turban, and actually that's exactly what Islamic jihadists, Taliban, did in Afghanistan with Massoud's father-in-law over there, who was appointed by Karzai to be the emissary, the peace emissary to the Taliban. So the Taliban comes in, a guy's got a bomb in his turban, and he blows him and the peace emissary up. So how is that so wrong to paint some as radical Islamists as willing to put a bomb in the turban, that cartoon would stir up people being killed? It really actually kind of proves the cartoon. You said we're violent? Well, we'll get violent and show you. Well, I think you just proved the cartoon. So anyway,
that's what they were trying to say about the film.
Exactly.
With Benghazi.
No, they weren't saying that about the film. The film had nothing to do with Benghazi.
Right.
It had nothing to do with Benghazi.
Why were they saying it did then, after they knew that it didn't?
Well, that was because they had an election coming up. And to have said that Al-Qaeda organization is the one who did this, or an Al-Qaeda related organization did this, didn't fit the narrative for the election, that Al-Qaeda is basically gone, we're safe.
We killed bin Laden.
Killed bin Laden, and so they didn't fit the narrative. So if they can blame that on some guy in California California who did a stupid video that I still haven't seen and say it's all his fault, then that fits the narrative. But I mean, they went so far in their deception and fraud that they actually produced a commercial with Secretary of State Clinton saying, we had absolutely nothing to do with that video. And then we spent taxpayer dollars and some Chinese borrowed money to run this commercial overseas. I think Afghanistan, other places, that we had nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with this video. When they knew it had nothing to do with the video, it was all part of the fraud to help Obama get reelected. And then they knew once he was reelected, it would not matter.
She said, what difference does it make? That famous line that Hillary Clinton said. Does it make a difference? Is Benghazi done? Is no one going to be held accountable except for the filmmaker who's still in jail?
Yeah. Well, to one extent, I guess it doesn't matter to those who are dead.
To their families, then.
What difference does it make? Well, if you're dead, it doesn't make a difference. But to the families of those who were killed, and especially to the families of those who will be killed in the future if we fail to learn the lessons that we haven't so far learned, it does make a difference. If we can, the only way we prevent future things like this happening is if we learn the lessons. Where did we go wrong? Where did we fail? And then we fix them for the future.
But they still won't investigate what you guys have uncovered.
Well, are
they going to?
Not only will they not investigate, they will not allow us to even know who the people were that were there. Let us at least talk to the people that are there. This cover-up is worse than anything that Watergate ever involved. These people will not, I mean, at least in Watergate, you could find out who this person was. Woodward and Bernstein went and talked to these people. Sometimes they'd say, we can't even find out the identity of the people involved so that we can talk to them and find out what went wrong, what really happened. Did a pilot actually say early on, I have dry feed over Libya, meaning he'd just come in from the Mediterranean? Or is the administration right that since we did not get permission from Libya, they were not going to send a plane in, even though this president sent planes in to support the al-Qaeda-backed rebels? They didn't get permission from Congress or Libya. This president went in, but somehow to defend our own people, he gets a briefing at 5 p.m. and then does nothing for...
And he goes to bed and doesn't... Why? Is that normal?
Well, it depends on who you are. It is not normal for me. I mean,
Do you really, I'm sorry, but do you really believe that he went to bed, or do you believe he was there? It doesn't seem like a presidential thing that when an embassy is under attack, that a president would just sign off on it and go to bed.
Well, I can't say for sure that he went to bed, but we know he did not care enough to talk to anybody involved that knew what was happening, nor did anyone from the White House talk to the people that knew what was going on. So whether he went for sleep, we don't know for sure, but we know they did nothing at the White House.
Why?
Well,
this makes no sense. It just makes no sense. Is they just let people be slaughtered?
Well, I wouldn't say they let people be slaughtered. The people were being slaughtered, and we did nothing about it. So we need to get to the bottom of exactly what. Did they really let them just say, well, there's nothing we're going to do to help them? We know that even C-130s could have been there in 3 hours, and that would have at least saved the last two people, at least, and could have saved so much more. And the information that the terrorists gleaned through without us ever getting there for weeks. So there's a lot to get to the bottom of, and I hope and pray that enough people in Washington will have enough stomach not to give up until we get the truth.
Well, I know you're not going to, and I so appreciate you for everything you're doing. And I don't like to grovel to politicians, but man, there are so few that really, really stick up for us and are really honestly trying to save our country. And I feel like that's what you guys need to do now.
That's exactly, and I'm hoping and praying we will do that. So thanks for your encouragement.
Texas.